This is the legend of the Double Dragon.
Like one of the stars of today's video, Robert Patrick, I will put myself through a lot of crap in the name of entertainment. This was definitely the definition of what I've been doing the past few weeks. Mindless fun. It's clearly cheaply made, it's campy as all heck, and it's just not that deep. So I think after this I need a break from this kind of film, because this is the bottom of the barrel quite clearly. But without further ado, let's talk 1994's Double Dragon, directed by James Yukich. And strangely, the story was written by Neil Shusterman and Paul Dini, as in Batman the Animated Series Paul Dini. I don't see it. Maybe there's a lot of changes between story and script. But this stars Mike Dacascos, Scott Wolf, Robert Patrick, as I said before, and Alyssa Milano seemingly playing a version of the kidnapped girlfriend from Double Dragon 1. But this was, like I say, just mindless fun. It was super cheap, the sets were probably the best bit, and the costumes were pretty decent. But everything else was just so poorly made. The effects were present. That's about the nicest thing I can say about them. The shadow boss effects just were literally terrible animation of a folding Robert Patrick. The cars confuse me. They've got this kind of bumper cam system that is a 3D render. That is terrible. That's like even pre-PS1 graphics level. But somehow they didn't choose to just go for a camera. They've gone for a 3D render that's terrible. And I guess they were trying to put a bit of production value in. Look, we've got 3D graphics, but this is one of those moments where you just go, yeah, let's just do it old school. Let's not try to do too much. They try and have a plot about, these gangs taking over and being united by Robert Patrick's character Shuko. But I like the fact that they did use him as a shadow boss, literally. That's what his half of the medallion did. It turned him into the shadow boss, rather than having it being Jimmy, although they did, again, call back to that by having him possess Jimmy, in Mark Dacascos' body. So there was a clear love of the franchise. There was a desire to do it justice. There was a desire to represent it as best as they can. But we've got some character names there that you might have recognised, sort of like enemy names. And we've got sort of, a basic setup, because I didn't realise, obviously in this film, it's a post-earthquake, which is why they've got these devices that shore up the buildings and what have you. But in the original game, if you look at the Japanese sort of original story that was created, it was actually post-nuclear, which you can see when you look at it in the game. Like, this is why you've got Mad Max-looking villains and, we have sort of dilapidated backdrops. It's because this is a post-apocalyptic game, and the fact that the film even sort of gets that right, again, says there was clear passion here. There was a clear desire to do the franchise proud. But, I don't know, maybe they just couldn't get enough people to shove money at them, and they wasted it. Not wasted it, I suppose, because it was well used, but they sort of put most of the budget to the cast, and the sets, and the costumes. Everything else was just, oh no, we've got $5 left, what do we do? But, like I say, despite all that, I was enjoying myself along for the ride. It's not a long film, it's just enough, it's 90-some minutes, but it just kept me sort of engaged for the most part. There are a few moments I drifted out. I'm not a big fan of toilet humour, so the whole Bobo Bobo sort of farting scene I couldn't wait for that to end. Oh, Bobo Bobo, let's talk about that. Actually played by two guys. And not really a representation of the game one, because yes, he's built, but he's not like super roided with these weird things around his head and everything. But at least they tried to do a version of him. But he was more just like a weird comedy foil who switches sides. I think they were trying to get the Goonies energy. He was trying to be like a sloth, because he doesn't speak very intellectually. He doesn't use complex language. And he is trying to help his former allies, I guess, be brought down by the brothers. Still, there's a lot wrong with that character. I mean, the outfit was great, it was fairly convincing. If you were a kid watching this, you wouldn't bat an eyelid, let's put it that way. And that's what I think we need to take away from this. It is not geared towards intellectual sort of film analysis people. It's geared towards people who just want to turn their brain off and have some fun. But I think what I really want to end on is a couple of like the high moments, because I always like to do that. And there's a weird bit of trivia with this film. I didn't realise until I was looking up, because I was trying to remember the cop's name. You know, Alyssa Milano's father's name, the cop. And I was looking it up and I was like, wait, Corey Milano? So yes, Corey and Alyssa Milano are really brother and sister playing brother and sister in the film, which was amazing to me. I never knew this. I never knew she had a brother. But one of the best things, and I said we'd come back to this at the start, is the fact that Robert Patrick has said, at the time of the interview, he'd been going about 16 years, he'd done 50-odd films, and he said 5 of those were good. The rest were crap. Now, I might just be assuming here, I might be jumping to conclusions, but I do get the distinct impression this was not one of the 5 amazing ones. He might even not be claiming T2 on that, you never know. What's his definition of great films? But he's one of those actors that, I've seen him in a bunch of the crap stuff, I know I have, but he has a sort of consummate professionalism that he brings to the table. Whatever role he's in, he will enjoy himself in it. He will embrace it, he will just go for it, give 100%, because at the end of the day, he's there to do a job. Even if the material is terrible, he's there to do a job and he's going to do the best job he can. This is why he gets all the work. And the second sort of final thing, I guess, is Mark Dacascos, I think, deserves a hat tip here, because he's one of those guys who I think the first time I really acknowledged him was the Crow TV series. He does gravitate towards some awful stuff, although he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I did like that for the most part. But even when he's not playing likeable roles, he's a very likeable guy to me. And in this, he brings that kind of goofy, fun side out very much. You know, this is a very likeable version of the character. And aside from that one bit where they did, you know, the hat tip to the Shadow Boss with Jimmy being possessed, he was just a fun guy and trying to do good with his brother. But that's what this film is. It's, you know, you could be like, oh, it's about the power of brotherhood and friendship and all that nonsense. Or it's just turn it on when you've got 90-some minutes to kill and you don't want to really engage your brain too much. And you remember there was a game once that you enjoyed as a kid. I'm a bit sad that they didn't sort of do the Jimmy Bimmy thing from Double Dragon 3, but this film's still enough. I don't think it needed to add. So that's it, I think, for the Mindless Fun series. I need to take a break. At least 2 or 3 weeks, and then maybe we'll revisit, I don't know. But next time I'm going to have a special guest, and we're going to talk a film that has informed both of our younger years and how much we love superhero movies going forward. I will give you one clue that will make everyone get it. I mentioned someone earlier who is involved in this franchise. So until next time, as always, thank you for watching and take care. That'll do, pig.